Hello there, yes. Another balmy Tuesday, thrilling 18 degrees with rain, something like that. Anyway, I think when I was growing up we used to joke about this being a typical British summer. This may well get to be what becomes a typical British summer if the Atlantic conveyor sort of goes south, literally. Anyway, today is number 2 on our list of grift rules, and today it's me, not me, which is whereby you, if you're setting up a station like GB News, will hire a very diverse looking group of people. They won't be diverse in what they say, of course, but you will employ people with different sexualities who won't like other people with different sexualities, and you will employ some people who aren't white that will not really entirely believe that there's such a thing as racism. And you'll also employ a whole bunch of rich people who will decry the elites. And first up on our list, of course, is Darren Grimes. As far as I can make out, Darren is solely employed because he's gay, which is a bit of a sad state of affairs that your sexuality marks you out. Darren will be upset about that, but effectively it does. And I think that this is just so that GB News can say we can't be homophobic because we employed Darren Grimes. But Darren Grimes is quite happy to sort of take the freedoms that he enjoys from people that sort of spend a long time campaigning in the 60s and 70s, and yet throw other people under the bus. Yeah, Darren doesn't like pride. Darren doesn't really like gay people. Odd, isn't it? Yeah. Next up, we end up with a whole bunch of people that are not entirely white, if I can put it that way. You end up with Calvin Robinson, who will decry notions of racism because we don't live in a racist society, and yet the moment you mention anything about his race, he becomes very, very, very upset, and that is you being racist. And you get Nana on this as well. Oddly, someone who's black that doesn't honestly seems to believe that there is racism in the UK, or if there is, it's just one or two individuals. It's not ever a racist society, and whenever you get reports out that claim that Britain has problems with institutional racism, they won't believe a word of it. You can also include in this list a variety of women that claim to be feminists. I'm thinking of Louise Perry, for example, that I think stretch the meaning of the term because they're often quite sort of anti-women in an awful lot of ways, and certainly aren't very keen on things like abortion and contraception, and yet are sort of trundled out to discuss feminism, usually in a very negative light. These women get an awful lot of coverage on right-wing news media. And lastly, you get people like Toby Young and Jacob Rees-Mogg, who will decry the elites and the establishment with no sense of irony whatsoever. Yeah, they're not elite. You know, Lord Young's boy, Toby, can't be an elite. He never goes to London dinner parties. He does all the time. Anyway, there you go. Lesson number 2. Lesson number 2 is, no matter who you are, if you want to get on, throw other people like you under the bus. Remember, your identity is not your skin colour or your sexuality, but nobody can criticise you for that, okay? Whenever you want to, you can pull that card out your back pocket. How dare you have a go at me, says Calvin. You know, you're just being racist. Perfect. And of course, GB News can do the whole thing about, you know, stating categorically they can't be racist, homophobic and the rest of it because of the people they employ. I'm always reminded of people that say, like, of certain groups like the Proud Boys, that they can't possibly be Nazis because there were brown people in amongst them. And you will hear the same sort of thing about gay members of right-wing groups. If you want to look up who Ernst Röhm was, I might recommend it. You do get gay Nazis, and you do get racist black people. not, of course, that GB News actually employ any of them. They're the other people that they report on. Anyway, do enjoy Tuesday. Remember, number 2 on the list is an important one. We'll do number 3 tomorrow. Ooh.